been asked to slow down. Fireplace, do you know how? Piles of paper, my desk is out. Who will care for the world out? Rest with me, close to curtains, brew some herbal tea. Reach out for me, take my hand and lead even when I disagree. Oh, how I love when it rains outside, and it's okay to slow the ride. Discover books I forget about.
I got Polly in my pocket.
So we're gonna try out some spray polyacrylic. So we tried the brush on stuff and it kind of leaves a little bit more streaks than we like. We're gonna try spray on. I've never used it before, but we'll see how the finished product turns out.
Where are you going? There's no.
He's like reaching his phone.
There's nowhere to go. You're not gonna fit through that little crack. He's like, this is a staircase that goes nowhere. Where there?
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
I don't know if young kids these days will have the joy and pleasure of shaking the Polaroids out after you printed them. Maybe they're making a resurgence, but that used to be a thing. Polaroids and then sitting there and shaking them out.
Like around the time that we moved here, they were remaking, and they're still remaking the Polaroid cameras.
Sorry. Being ornery in the background.
You can shake your cell phone to make it do things. I know that. Not the same though. We got a Finley sighting. Finley, what are you doing? Okay, so we're gonna let that sit for a little bit and dry. I can't remember how long the can said, but we'll double check that. I think it's like 30 minutes between dry times. However, based on good ventilation, temperature of 77 degrees Fahrenheit. So it is nowhere near 77 degrees Fahrenheit out here. It might take a little bit longer between coats, but we'll keep an eye on this. Also, I have to watch it because the cats are out here playing, and inevitably, as soon as I walk away, they'll jump on it. So we'll keep an eye on that and wait for it to dry before we hit it with another coat. How are you doing? Pants. Oh, that's dirty pool, old man. You look terrible. We've been getting so spoiled lately with warm, dry weather. Oh, yeah. And today it is rainy and cold and damp.
So we got that 2 foot of snow right around the end of December, and middle of February finally we're getting a little more moisture, but it's been dry for a month and a half.
Yeah, I know we need the moisture. Pacific Northwest has been very dry and struggle with wildfires for several years now every summer. So I know we need the moisture, but I'm having a hard time being excited about it because it is cold and rainy and damp, and those are not my favorite things. We've been spotted.
actually kind of digging this stuff.
Yeah, it's nice. It goes on really evenly.
Depending on the project, I mean, that's a good option.
Yeah, I don't know that you would want to use that on something that was really like heavy wear and tear, but these are going to be shelves. They're just going to have dishes sitting on them, so it's not like a floor or a countertop. So I don't know. I think it's doing really well. I like it so far. Plus, it's a lot easier to apply than anything that you have to paint on or sponge on or whatever. So, which we don't have any problems doing that, but heck, if you don't have to, if you got a better way to, simpler way to apply it, might as well go with that. Two gingers in one spot? That's too much. Hold on. You guys, these shelves are so pretty. I think they're gonna look so good in the kitchen. The reason that we did the darker shelves, as you know, our countertops are made out of fir. They're fir butcher block. But the reason we did the darker shelves, we did cedar. We did the same stain as what we have on the doors, the exterior doors, the doors to the bathroom. They're all cedar stained in Minwax Jacobean. So it's this dark color. So this is basically just gonna pull that same color and tie it into the kitchen area. I think it'll look really good, hopefully. And then also it'll break up, because there's a lot of fir, like the beams in the cabin are all out of fir and the countertops are out of fir. So that's kind of an orangey kind of color when you put like a clear coat on it. So we tried doing several different types of stains. Actually, I did a lot. I have a ton of little stain samples in the pump house. And nothing really looked good on the fur. It all came out really pinky and orangey. So we finally just decided to clear coat seal it. But there's a lot of that color in there. So I think it'll look really good to have these shelves made out of cedar with the dark stain on them. Like I said, it'll kind of pull that color from the doors over into the kitchen and just kind of help tie everything in and break up the orangey color of the fur in there. You gonna hitch your ride down? You three-legged little boy. You little three-legged monster. Come on.
My suspicion is confirmed. Our brackets aren't all that square. We're modifying our brackets that we bought. One, to make them a little heavier. So we're basically just encasing them in some 3/4 inch material. Do a couple things that'll give us a little more length out to support the bracket and help to kind of stiffen these up, because they're kind of flimsy and flexy. And I was thinking, I don't know how square they are, and so my bracket's perfectly square, as my square tells me, and then I put that on there and it's leaning forward too, so.
Space right there.
Anyhow, I think that'll give us a little more depth to the brackets, and will help to strengthen and stiffen them.
So we bought these brackets hoping that they would be strong enough to hold these shelves. But as Robert showed, they're not exactly straight. We got them from Lowe's. They're not exactly square, and they weren't quite heavy duty enough to hold the shelves, plus when we actually put stuff on the shelves. So we decided what to do rather than just throwing more money at the project is maybe like throw a little bit of resourcefulness and maybe some knowledge at it. So I went online and we were both actually researching different bracket types and what we could do. And I saw a picture of a bracket that looked like this. It was wood backed and then it had the metal bracket attached to it. And you could purchase them. I think it was on Wayfair or something. So I told Robert, I said, why don't we try and do this first before because we can use these brackets somewhere else in the house that we don't need them to be quite as heavy duty. However, I would prefer not to go spend more money on more brackets right now. Plus, the problem is that we've really been having a hard time finding any place locally that actually sells heavy duty brackets. This is about the most heavy duty thing we could find. And when you order stuff online, you never really know. Like sometimes they say it's heavy duty and you get it and it's junk. So I didn't want to continue the process of ordering or purchasing brackets that we were continuing to have to return because they just didn't quite do the job. So we're going to try and shore these up with a wood backing on them. So basically like doubling the bracket, I guess. And we'll see if these work. I am super hopeful that they do because I do not want to buy more brackets. Ollie, don't you try to pull that off of there. Cats have been lazing around the house like half of the day, and then the second we put the cat door in, because we're trying to get them to not go up to the barn. We're trying to get them not to go up to the pole barn and get up on the shelves that are up there that are in the process of drying from the spray poly. And I know the second that they go up to the barn, they're going to go and jump right up on those shelves. I know it because they do stuff like that. But anyway, so the second that we put the cat door in, of course, they're over here wanting out. So anyway, they're acting quite frustrated with the fact that they can't come and go at their leisure.
He's waiting over there looking at you.
Yeah. He was giving me the stink eye a second ago. And he is funny because he understands, you know, that the cat door like thing slides in and out. And he'll try and pry at it. I mean, it's got like scratch marks on it. He'll try and like pry it open. He's chewed
doing it right now. He's trying to.
He's chewed the little plugs off that cover the screw holes. He's chewed those off. Like, he literally tries to break out when the cat door is in because he wants to be outside. Normally he does that at night. During the day they can come and go as they want, but at night we keep everybody locked in because we do have wild animals, foxes, cougars, owls, all of that stuff. So it's for his own safety, but he doesn't seem to care about that. Do you want to show them how destructive you are? Look at all those scratches. And these little things cover the screw holes, but you can see he's chewed them off the bottom trying to get out. Yeah, you little monster.
So we've got a little bit of height with the thickness of our bracket here. So I basically just marked the top of where I want the shelf to be, and then we're going to go ahead and try not to move it. Alright, so we got that one. So you can see we're coming down a little bit with our brackets there. So we got some heavy duty wall anchors we're going to use. I'm just going to go in and drill a little bit bigger hole since I have my pilot now. Stick these in the wall, and then we'll go ahead and attach. On these, we'll probably have to flex them up and attach them just because these aren't, this is square, but this is not. Pretty solid without having the top even attached yet.
Yeah, good job.
So each one of these little anchors is supposed to hold 159 pounds, or up to 159 pounds. I'm not usually a drywall dolly anchor kind of guy. I was looking at the metal ones though, and they were like 50 to 70 for something in that same size hole. So in the end, I went ahead and decided to go with these particular style.
Are they a drywall dolly or a molly?
Molly.
I think I have you
Molly.
messed up because I always call them dollies.
Drywall Molly, I think is what they're called. I don't know.
Well, this package calls them a drywall anchor, so we'll go with that.
Drywall anchors.
All right, you're just gonna have to ignore the fact that the washer and dryer are running in the background because this is a house and we live in it. So the reason it looks like I'm sitting in the corner of my kitchen next to my microwave is because I am indeed sitting in the corner of my kitchen on the countertop next to the microwave. I'm trying to help Robert put in these shelves, and this corner is hard to get to, so I'm sitting in the corner. Anyway, we're trying to level these in a unlevel house that is also not square. Anybody who has ever owned a house that was built ages ago, this one was built in the 50s, knows that construction was very rarely ever straight or level when they built stuff. So we're just trying to kind of get these to where they look good. I actually think that this countertop, we checked it, Robert checked it, and the countertop is actually level and the ceiling right here is actually level, which is kind of a miracle. So we should just be able to level these shelves and then they'll look really good from like when your eye is looking at them from across the room. So that's where we are at. We're gonna work on continuing to get these up.
One of the last times I was underneath the house, it has written crane shed on the bottom side of it. So I don't know if this house used to be a crane shed of some sort that got repurposed. There used to be, I believe the neighbor said, an old broom factory or something on this property years ago. So who knows what this cabin once was. So yeah, things get repurposed, things get moved. I'm amazed that we have two roughly level areas that we're working with, because I know working that way is not level, but for some reason this wall, and maybe I did the countertop level when I made the counters, so I don't know, but luckily we got a level section finally to work with.
You know, this is not an angle in the house that we usually video from. We might
The corner?
we might be onto something.
Yep. I believe I'm in a stud. We might just lag into these ones now.
I was gonna say we don't need the mollies or the dollies or whatever they are. The oh, we decided to go with anchors. We don't need the anchors then if we've got a stud. It's amazing. Who knew?
So since we found a stud and I've drilled a larger hole, I still want to be centered, so I'm just clipping off the tails of those drywall anchors, and that way I'm centered on my hole.
So all of the brackets are now up. So now we're going to run up to the pole barn and we're going to check on the drying process and see if the poly on the shelves is done drying. We may spray one more coat, so we'll see. Does one of these have one coat and the other has two?
One has two.
Okay, so we've decided we're going to do 3 coats total. So we'll do a third coat on the one that goes in the corner, the one that's shaped like an L, and then we'll do a second coat on the other one. And then of course we'll come up and do a third coat on this little piece too, once that's dry.
Well, there you have it. We made 2 awesome shelves, and yeah.
They look amazing. Really excited to have them finished. I feel like the camera does not do it justice how nice these look. They look really beautiful. So I'm really excited to have them. Good job.
Thank you. If you haven't already, we'd love to have you subscribe and join us on our journey. We're always making something around here, so thanks for coming along today.